guys, welcome back to ThinkTank. Hannah and Robby Mats
Hello.
here. So I ask a lot of questions in life. I feel like that's how I get to know people. I just ask a lot of questions, but it's a good thing that I don't need to hire anybody because a lot of the questions I ask are really personal and would probably be illegal if I asked them in an interview. So there are actually some questions that if you are asked in an interview, these are actually illegal, so you don't have to answer them. The first is, are you married? So anything that fishes for information about a candidate's family plans, marriage, engagement, and child planning is technically illegal because it falls under pregnancy discrimination. So if you're asking, especially a woman, if she's married, then you might be calculating
like, oh, she'll have to go on maternity leave.
Having kids. First of all, which is like a very weird. I think it seems a little antiquated because not all women have babies anymore.
Right, and then you don't have to be married to do that.
Well, you do. You have to be married to have sex.
Oh. Oops.
Yeah.
No, but I totally see that's kind of an odd thing. See, I thought it was like maybe like a sexual harassment kind of a thing. Like, are you married? See, that's what I thought when I heard that.
But maybe that would be like, are you single?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Two very different questions.
I bet that's still illegal.
I think it might be.
You're single?
Yeah.
Want to work here? You're single?
The next question is, how old are you? So it's illegal to discriminate against anyone over 40 on the basis of age. So it's like acceptable to ask this question to make sure that somebody's above 18.
Yeah.
For jobs, but once I guess you have to make like an appearance judgment.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which kind of seems a little weird and odd, but you can't.
I think that makes sense, though, right? You know, like
it's graying. What if they're prematurely graying or prematurely balding? Right. And you're like, are you over 40? And they're like, I'm 24.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
Yeah, it is awkward. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that makes sense.
Illegal.
If they can still do the job, then it shouldn't matter what age they are.
Yeah.
So it is. I don't think it's like a necessary question, but like.
Yeah.
You know.
There was a movie about it. I haven't seen it, but my mom saw it. And the intern?
Yeah, that's what I was about to. No, I haven't seen it, but
it looks very cute. I would like to see it at some point.
I would hire De Niro. I wouldn't ask him how old is he. You know.
No.
I'd be like, come on.
It's Robert De Niro. But anybody else. Okay, the next one is when did you graduate? So this falls within the same sort of category as the last one because people can do math. Most people can do math.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
Yeah, unless you went to school like later in life.
Yeah.
That'd be a surprise.
Yeah. The next one is, have you ever been arrested? Okay, so it's not illegal to ask if you've ever been convicted of a crime.
Okay.
And many employers do because they want to know if you've been convicted. You have to write that on like your college application as well. But they can't ask about is your arrest record.
VHS guy doesn't have to worry about that.
So we did a video earlier about a guy who was arrested for not returning a VHS, but he wasn't convicted of a crime yet. So if they asked him about this, he wouldn't have to disclose that, right? And it would be illegal for them to ask that. But if somebody was convicted of a crime, you do have to disclose that. So you don't need to, the manager doesn't need to do like any sort of, or has any sort of knowledge about your arrest record, okay? So they can do independent research to see if there are any records of arrest, and that's totally fine. And if you know that you're gonna go to a company that does this sort of research, you might wanna just disclose it anyway.
Yeah.
Just to be like, hey, just so you know, made a mistake when I was, 18. Like, it was stupid.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at. This is what I've done to reconcile that and all that good stuff. And lastly, what country are you from? So as long as you're authorized to work in the country where the job is located, a question that they're allowed to ask you, employers can't dig into where you're from because nationality discrimination is illegal. Similarly, they can't ask if English is your first language, which I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of good that all these things are in place so that people don't discriminate.
You can ask though, like, you're proficient in English, right?
Yes.
Ask
and of course, if you have like another language that you speak and you put that on your resume or something like that, it could be like, how good are you like at Spanish?
This or
and
that.
I always lie about that.
Oh, interesting. But you can ask like which one came first or anything like that. Oh, that's interesting. I'm learning so much today.
Well,
this
that's
is
what
great.
ThinkTank is all about. But I mean, that makes sense because I feel like if you're interviewing somebody, right, and they're proficient enough to speak with you over the interview, like it doesn't totally matter.
Is English your first language? Yeah, it does kind of start to feel a little bit like, hey, are you from
judging
here?
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, like.
And then it kind of like could lead itself like, oh no, and then you just stop. Like that's an awkward silence right there, and you'll be like, oh, actually, blah blah blah. Is my first language. This is where I'm from. Nationality discrimination, illegal.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Illegal.
Have you ever been asked like a really weird question on an interview?
Oh, I totally have. My favorite is like when you're applying for colleges and they try to get all creative. So it's like, if you could be a soup or a salad, which one would you be?
A soup or salad?
Yeah, soup or a salad.
Oh,
not
I
super
thought you
salad.
super salad.
You could be, because that sounds awesome. I should have said that.
There's some like acai in there. Superfoods in
It's got a cape, flies around, throws kale everywhere.
Wow.
Super salad. Yeah, but I was like, I said like soup because like all these things just mixed. Like, what are you supposed to say? I was like, because like all my personality traits just mesh to get, no. The answer was salad. The answer was salad.
Well, salads are more versatile.
Yeah.
You know, but I do like soup.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great question, actually. I'm gonna start asking people. I'm gonna put that on my dating profile.
Are you a soup or a salad?
Are you a soup or a salad? And people are gonna be like, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm trying to think of questions. Like I was asked once, like, if you were a tree, like what tree would you be? Which is like the most annoying.
That's really dumb. I would just make a tree pun and move on. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I'm a birch, like something like that. Yeah.
I would hire that. And then the only like weird question I've been asked was I was getting interviewed for an apartment, which is like a very weird.
That is a strange interview.
It's a strange sort of like.
You're like, I'm not a murderer. I'm not gonna break any of your things.
I didn't say that. I didn't lie.
Okay.
But no. So there's a triple, and I was getting interviewed by like the guy who like owned the apartment to move in.
Okay.
Which like I was already a little weirded out about living with guys. Now I live with 2 girls, but I was like getting interviewed, and this is like literally how he interviewed me. So. What like do you do sports or something? Like what do you do for
and you're like what is so what's going on there, huh?
And he was like, I don't know. I had a girlfriend who has a similar body type as you. She was a dancer. I was just wondering what you do. And I was like,
no,
I'm not gonna live here. Thank you. Peace out. It was very uncomfortable. I think if that were at a real job, that might be crossing the line.
Yeah, I find interviews are often like a two-way street. You also are feeling out the interviewer. Because sometimes you're like, oh, maybe this place is crazy and I don't want to work here.
Yeah. So. No, that's a really good point, and that's a great point to end this on, is like, remember when you are in an interview, you're trying to find out if this place is right for you as well. So be sure to have questions to ask. We have a video that you can watch right here in this area above Robby's head. Just click on it for questions to ask on interviews for the interviewee.
Right.
Well, you can't click on it now, Robby.
I know. I'm just very aware of it.
You have to click on it in the future. Guys, let us know in the comments down below the weirdest questions you've been asked on an interview and if any of them were illegal, and we'll see you soon.